They said he was crazy. I said you were crazy to not understand what this guy was focused on and what his MO was, his motive, his intentions the entire time. This is what we call a masterclass in marketing. It's not a man going crazy. It's a man truly understanding the growth formula for the age of social media that he's in today. And last week, you guys got to see it firsthand. It wasn't just a fight, it wasn't a display of Hollywood. This is what we call the cheat code for marketing in today in the age of social media. And you guys drove it home and proved that point because at the end of the day, when people thought that this was a situation where a man was losing his mind, the only thing that man was doing is driving the Brinks truck up to the arena and capitalizing on upwards of $50 million. And with that being said, it's a masterclass. And what we're going to do today is we're going to show you exactly what that growth formula is. It's not rocket science. And a lot of you are watching, you don't quite understand it because you've seen it spoken to and people like the Jake Pauls of the world who've come into the industry and shaken it up with such flagrant characters and acting and the whole shenanigans. And but we're going to give you the real inside of what this thing really is all about. It's going to be much more simple to you because we're going to give you a bird's eye view of no matter what you're doing. If you're in the industry of combat or if you are individual trying to build your business up, what you need is people. And this is the absolute breakdown of what this all looks like. So that's what we're going to get into today. And we will do a short recap of the fight, bringing in a couple of other people who are experts in their industry. You don't just get to listen to me. As a matter of fact, I'm going to kind of play the back seat today, but you will get the opportunity to really take away a strong individual message to use for yourself. And my encouragement is that you take it, implement it, and start asking questions because this is really the blueprint to change your life. Devin Haney was doing good, but his life has changed today. Ryan Garcia was doing good, but his life has changed today. And when that number finalizes, you'll understand why this is so important. But before we get started, I'd like to introduce the sponsors of the show, those who turn the lights on, the cameras, and they make sure that you are totally entertained the entire time. Jab Juice Consultant Agency, bringing the most vocal, clear clarity in the age of developing personal brands, advising individuals on how to do what they do best and have the audience and captivated in that journey of theirs. So, with that being said, special shouts out to Jab Juice, social media, all of you guys who are out there, you're building your personal brands. I just want to make it clear to you someone wants to hear you in what we call the dog whistle, understanding how to get your message out to those people. Talk that talk, walk that walk, and don't be shame of who you are. Put that microphone in front of your face, turn those lights on, and if you have trouble getting that message out, go to jabjuice.com and change the rest of that message and get it out to the people that want to hear you. Thanks again. Let's get ready to get it in. And I'm going to bring in one of my most, this is a person that I think the most of when it comes down to the production, Hollywood, the lights, the cameras, the real action. This is my man, Jake, and not Jake from State Farm, but Jake from Hollywood. What's up, brother?
What's up? How's everything
My
doing?
man, it's good, man. You know what it is. Today we dive deep into who we are, what we do, what the secrets behind what those guys are doing. And I want just to for them to understand they've seen you up here with me multiple times now, but to shed light on what they actually were looking at this entire week and the weekend with these events and over the past couple of years just with guys like Jake Paul The rock. And these are areas that you specialize in. So with that being said, I said, look, people want to know what's going on. So when we think about it, we watch these guys take their money and let's just say 1,000x it. They 1,000x what they could possibly do, because most fighters who are at the elite level, let's say they can make 1 million. But when you start bumping that thing up to over 30, 35, 40, $50 million, that's insane numbers. And when it comes down to it, I like for you to kind of shed light on what happens when a guy understands how to use those lights and those cameras and that action. The floor is yours, brother.
I mean, that's the even crazy thing. I mean, you say lights, cameras, actions. Like, we have all of that now in a phone.
Yeah.
Like, you don't need much more than a phone. Like, you look at Ryan Garcia's content, like a lot of it is literally done with just an iPhone. Like,
Yeah.
I have thousands of dollars worth of gear, so much gear, and I spend more time shooting with a phone and natural light and just like the
Yeah.
available light, whether I'm inside, I'm near a window or anything like that. And the stuff looks great, right? And it is this very fascinating thing we're in right now, where it is the age of media.
Yeah.
That's where we're at right now. It is the age of media, and it is the, there was a lesson I learned from the CEO of Liquid Death. He was in a podcast. He was talking about, he's like, look, my competitors are not other water brands. My competitors are every single person on social media.
Yeah.
So when you're posting, you're not posting against other people in your niche. You're literally fighting for attention across the entirety of the internet.
So what is one of the things that when people are when they're watching these different individuals like Ryan Garcia, and you saw all of the antics, and what my take is one of the most important parts of executing this is understanding what the layers of it is. And one of the things is people say, I hear about all these voices saying, you got to evoke emotion, and I break it down to what we do as the company is we really make sure that people understand there are pinpoints to this thing. It's like 6 different layers of touching these emotions. First, you got comedy. A lot of people respond to comedy. Ryan Garcia in his formula was utilizing funny little comedic. He was getting up under your skin and making you laugh, doing the beer antics, and then he brought you into a level of concern. He tapped into your emotion when he was speaking to the young kids and being kidnapped, and all of these little things that had people kind of switching up and thinking he may not even be on this fight card on that night. And then he goes into the rants where he's screaming, shoving Devin Haney in the midst of out of nowhere, from totally respectful to totally just rampant and ranting. And I said, he's not only is he speaking in a manner in which most people don't quite understand what's going on. He's just like, uh, and I don't play around with any emotions, but there are people who have a bipolar disorder. You never know what you're getting. One day it's all hugs and loves, and the next day it's tears and screams. And it was more like just behavioral roller coaster, but it was calculated in most of the arenas. And with that being said, how much does that play a role in capturing new audiences on the upscale when you're just tapping into different just characters?
Yeah,
Because
I mean,
yeah,
it's it is such a interesting. I think you really took a second and to look at the age of, because how old is he again, right? It's like
25.
25. Yeah. So my point is with that, like, he grew up with the Paul brothers, right? So we
Yeah.
saw what they did. And I think he really took a page out of Jake's book and
Yeah.
Logan's book and went, okay, they're there. They're making this amount of money. I'm a better fighter than them.
Yeah.
That's the piece that's missing, not
Yeah.
the fighting technique. So if I
Yeah.
just put this piece there, boom, I now have the I'll be able to go with the Canelos, the Floyds, the this, like, because he'll have the technical expertise there.
Yeah.
Eventually, one day he might get there, but he now has the marketing chops that the Paul
Woo.
brothers have.
Yeah. To be able to do this and the stuff that he's been doing out here, that's Sugar Ray Leonard-esque. I mean, to perform in that manner and bring all of the antics. There are people who are not even in the sport of boxing, not casual fans. There are people who are pure T YouTubers. We had people who are in the Barbie movie. What I see, that mastery of his social media, he's not just doing it. See, people don't understand most of this is with each different antic, he's tapping into an entirely different audience. For instance, Taylor Swift has tapped into football player audiences, football fan audiences. And
Mm-hmm.
now Travis Kelce has tapped into the Taylor Swift fan. Now he got a new talk show starting, because it's not that you're just doing different things. You're doing different things that interest different people from different demographics, from different audiences, in which each one of those audiences, you're capturing another 250,000 different, a million, and then it compounds into a million, because if he keeps it up, he kept the consistency of different antics going. So that's kind of what I saw. And, I know when it comes down to seeing and filming and creating the kind of material and content and identities that you do for people, because they have no idea that you create identities for people.
But
Hell,
I want to
you
jump in and
coach
say
me
two
up.
things.
Not a lot of people tell me, oh, no. Go ahead, you're
Yeah.
that guy.
So, but I want to say one thing is, like, you gotta be, the biggest thing is you gotta be true to you. Look, Ryan is a pretty out there guy,
Yeah.
right? He likes being the character. He likes, if you take the wrestling term of a heel, he doesn't mind being that guy. The same way with the Paul brothers. They don't mind being that guy. But
Yeah.
if that is not who you are, you do not have to do that. I just want
Yeah.
to make sure that everyone knows that. It's like, you do not have to be
Yeah.
a crazy antic person, but you have to do what you take the deeper lesson, not the surface lesson from Ryan,
Yeah.
but what happened underneath, which was create moments that are newsworthy, create moments that can go viral, create opportunities for yourself to get more attention, and do it in the way that's real for you. You look at Joe Rogan, right?
Hold
one
up.
of the biggest.
Hold up. I love this. So beat me up like you did the other day on the PM from ESPN. All right, go to me. Look, this is how he dogged me. Like, you got to be good. If I'm like, okay, so go into it. Let's take it back. Let's act like we were on the conversation. Go at it. Just tell them what you told me to do.
All right, so Eric sent me a clip and it was good, but Eric was in this, like, well, if you watch the
Professor
way
mode.
if you see the way he's throwing that right jab, it'll get him in the chin, and because of that, and I was like, bro, that's not you. I was like, where's the energy? Because I see you go Pat McCaffrey on them. I see you go, oh my God, it's, and I know that energy, in general, will do better on social media. Right?
Yeah.
Just because of how the internet is.
Yeah.
But if you look at a guy, and this is where I was about to say, was like, if you look at a guy like Joe Rogan, he's not a big boisterous guy like Pat McCaffrey.
Yeah.
But what he does is the stuff he talks about.
Yeah.
The people he brings on his shows. Hey, let's bring this conspiracy story about aliens. Hey, let's bring this, top fighter, right? Let's bring
Yeah,
this health guy who's doing this crazy health thing. Let's talk about
absolutely.
this car thing. Let's talk about this thing. Like, right?
Yeah.
That
Interesting,
it's all,
intriguing,
again,
thought-provoking.
moments that the larger audience would be interested in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And but
Hey,
the
Jake,
biggest thing
you
is you
remember?
have to
I know
be
you,
true to you, because
yo,
again,
what I
if
was
you're
going to
doing
say.
that character and that's not you, people are
Yeah.
going to know you by that, and then you're going to be
Yeah.
like, oh fuck, I don't want to be known like that.
So,
So you
Joe,
don't do that.
so Jake, do you think like that what Joe Rogan is doing is more like, you remember the show That's Incredible back in the day? Jake, you're young, but
I'm
That's
young, bro.
Incredible.
I might be a little too young for that.
Jake's in his 30s. Hey, but That's Incredible was like Fear Factor, but
Okay.
it was very subdued. The host, had a nice sports jacket on, and it's just delivery. People out here who watch this, they know what Legendary Nights, they know Jim Lampley. That's what I was
Hmm.
bringing to them. And so the thing is, at certain points, you're saying, I don't want the audience that don't want the real science. I'm talking directly to my people that I know have a vested interest in the fight, because I knew that they want the formula. They wanted the formula. And so,
Exactly.
but that audience, when you crank it, that's what Jake does. Jake is all crazy audience. He want the YouTubers.
Well,
So
not always, but look, I want what's going to perform best.
perform.
That's
Yeah.
that is
Because
the only thing I care about. Is like,
my
if we're
million
gonna,
view videos ain't doing good enough.
but that's my
No,
point.
I'm
It's
just
like,
God.
if it's like, how are we gonna get more attention?
Yeah.
And if we're going to, if you're going to take the time to make content,
Yeah.
make it the best. The same way, if
Yeah.
you're going to go into a fight, you want to make sure you're going to win. This is,
Hmm.
every time you post a video, this is the way I look at it. Every time you
Yeah.
post a video is
Yeah.
throwing a punch. If you're not going to throw a punch
Hmm.
without a strategy to it, so if you know it's a setup punch,
Yeah.
or it's got to be a knockout punch, but you got to
Yeah.
know what it is and what you're doing and how you're doing it and why you're doing it.
Hmm.
And if you're just throwing up content to throw up content, that's a good place
Yeah.
to start. But that's just throwing out punches
No,
like
you're
this,
right.
you
Why?
know?
Why are you right? Because why he's right? Why is he the best, guys? Because when I did what he was saying do, I got 122,000 people live on. So I know he's right. That's why you get the best people around you. And you have to change your hat. You can't always be the boss. You have to listen. And when you got people like Jake, and you got people on your team that are powerhouse, and Jake's Hollywood, let's let it be known. It's just not some dude who's coming on board talking, hey, do this, do that, and I'm gonna listen. I built an audience, and I average 20 M's every month. The thing about it is, he understands the market space, and this is what the message is to you. And this is why I brought Otis on, because Otis manages fighters. He understands how important it is to make sure the fighters understand the game, and understands how important it is to actually just know that you guys have to not watch just to watch. This is what we call a formula. If you're running a business or you're starting up your business, you're going to do mediocre numbers. That's what a business is. It's never what you think it is. But the more of this stuff you know, like Jake knows the dashboard like nobody's business. He doesn't just understand point, shoot, talk. He doesn't just understand that stuff. So when you got the understanding of what's required in order to reach high levels, not just show up and be there, but Jake understands how to take your numbers. And if you're doing 20, 30,000 per video, you start doing 200, 300 on average, thousand, then 2 or 3 million. Because as I listen to Jake, I can spit out a video that does 300,000, and that would be my best. I listen to Jake, that video does 3.3 million, 6, 7 million. Why do I know this? Because I do it. And I tell them, I just said it to you the other day, Jake, I'm not trying to put out another freaking viral video this week. I got to space them things apart like 3 weeks. And sometimes it slips up like over the weekend. And in the midst of the fight, I got a viral video going crazy, but everything else is performing well because I listened to you. And I'm like, you're too good at this.
I appreciate it, man.
Yeah, but it costs me money because I got to keep hiring new people.
You know what? That's the problems we want to have. We want to have I'm making too much money. I'm getting too much attention. And I got to hire more people. Then I'm broke. Yeah. I have no money. I can't get no help. I got bills to pay. Yeah. We don't want those problems.
New problems.
So that's what, like, you know, and like I always, because I coach a lot of artists and it's the same thing in the athlete world, but the athletes are picking up a little faster than they are than the artists. And it's like, you're running a business. Yeah. The business just happens to be you. But
say that again. Say that again. You're saying the athletes are picking up this social media thing or marketing better than
this idea of you are a business, athletes and artists, you guys are businesses. Just the business is you. Yeah. So, and it's great. We got a manager here. We might fight, and it's a good thing this is all virtual because I would definitely lose. But where people are like, oh, I got an agent, I got a manager, I don't have to do anything, I'm done. No, they work for you. They're on your staff. They're a salesman. Yeah. You got to make sure your agent, your manager is working for you. And I say this to actors. I say this to people, especially actors, because they're like, oh, as long as I can get an agent, then I'm done. Oh, that's all I need. It's like, no. Your agent, your manager, you got to make sure, how many meetings did you get from me this week? How many calls did you make this week? Wow. What are we doing this week? The same way, Eric, like you're like your salespeople, right? Yeah. It's like, how many calls did you make this week? How many closes did you make this week? Yeah. They're a salesman for you. And so, athletes, and I say that from a standpoint of marketing is a division of your business. Yeah. And you have to do everything in your business until you can hire somebody to do it for you. Yes. And so your marketing, you're going to have to do it yourself until you can hire someone like myself, like Jab Juice, right? To help you with your content and expand it beyond what you're at now. But you got to start it yourself.
No doubt. It's real. Your audio popped out. Otis, pop in and tell me like what you think about the antics over the weekend, and how do you think you would have done if you would have fared? Because Otis, you was the whole savage package. I'm gonna pop you down, Jake. Get your audio and stuff right, brother. While
we just need to make art. And even in the boxing world, you got to box. How often are you boxing? How often are you producing what you need to produce? Promote. Hey, look, this is what I just made, and then you just keep doing it again. Hey, look, I'm in the gym. Hey, look, I had a fight. Promote. I have a fight coming up. I just did a fight.
And the great part about what we have now are these phones in our hands. They're incredible tools. Think about back in the day, we had to be in a studio and, run a camera. And now we're able to reach millions and billions of people in the palm of our hands. See where technology and AI has advanced to, where we can, like I'm in the hotel lounge, doing a podcast with you. You don't have to be anywhere physically to get things done. No. So it's my job, I feel, when I'm on set, and I don't give away any secrets or nothing like that.
Have L.C. Duncan killed.
My family's in war.
I want everything shut down now.
He has my niece, and I want her back.
Anything, Duncan, I want dead. You want a war? We can make war.
Ashes to ashes, dust to dust. Like your style.
Boom. That's our guy, Sean Ringgold. And that is The Family Business. Season 5 popping off. And that was him speaking on with Jake, and we did
As artists,
an
like we just need to
awesome
make art.
show. And I mean, it was
We
just
have to be in a
insightful, but
studio and
he's
run a
just
camera.
a special man. And when it comes down to this, man, everybody understands this thing of social media, right? Everybody understands that there's something that happens with these guys who understand how to do this. Some of you get in your own way. You're a little bit fearful, but then there are those out there who really, really want the smoke. They want it, but they don't understand what it looks like. And so that's what we're going to do in this second half. We're going to really give you the behind the scenes from the experts, and they're going to tell you line item by line item. But before we do that, I want Otis to kind of speak about what would have happened if you understood how to do this. And I know you are a person of pride. You like to go out there and do your stuff, but you know you didn't commit to the other thing, and you know that was a part of how it would have impacted you. What do you think would have happened if you would have taken on that moniker of, hey, I'm gonna market myself for real?
Probably you would have been saying Otis Griffin on ESPN instead of Brian Custer.
Yeah, you had the whole thing. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Brian would have made it also, but just taking the tools that I have with with media and journalism and things of that nature. It was for that particular reason, and it could have been just pushed to the top after the career and everything. But that there would have been. I don't know if I would have went that way. I still every now and then get calls for like cameos and movies type stuff like that. But I'm still kind of a little bit leery of the Hollywood setting, and Jay can tell you all about that. But as far as with the sports and everything, I could have, knowing that how things turned out now with social media and things of that nature. Like, I could have been doing anything from NBA to NFL style reporting to ESPN boxing and everything. So,
well, I'm going to ask you one last question because your audio is going in and out. But what I wanted to do is, do you encourage your guys now to amp it up, because you know that this impacts your numbers for real? Yeah.
Especially now since boxing has gone to the app, so they they don't only want a good fighter, they want someone that people know, and nobody has an excuse now. Like, even if you just are a part-time mechanic that boxes somewhere in nowhere, Texas, you can still get on your phone and make people know who you are. Hey, I'm 11-0, I'm 8-0, and blah blah blah. And you can attach yourself to people that are big.
I got that point, Otis. But what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna pull you down because for some reason it's super laggy and it's freezing up. But I'm gonna pull you down, and at the end, I'm gonna pull you back in for the last 5 minutes because I want to talk about something that happened in the fight and something that happened post-fight that most of the people are going to want to know about and the impact. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to give you guys an understanding of what it really. You hear this word funnels, right? And you don't quite understand what it is, but I want you all to know that if your athlete is competing right now and they are reluctant to take this thing to the next level, let me let you in on something. I talked to all of those promoters that are doing it at the big level, the highest level, and I won't say names because this will incriminate them on a particular level. They're not trying to put your guys on. Your guys are just not making noise. There are guys who deserve a shot. They will not get a shot because they won't do the little things. But guess what? It's not going to be hard because you got advisors out here like ourselves. And there are other people who understand this thing, understand the nooks and crannies of it. Just like when we had Triller
ask some
TV
people
on.
like, hey, will you do a liner for us or tag and promote, that we're on fight this Saturday or whatever. That the guys that make all the money will say yes. I can get Jake Paul to do something. We can get KSI to do something for us. We can do all these people who are making money. But then you ask some guy lower on the card, will you do this for me? And then they never get around to it. And it's like, there's a reason why you're not moving ahead.
That is Kim Hertz from Triller TV, formerly Fight TV. This is what people are really thinking. You're not going anywhere. The reason why these other guys are getting such light is because they're doing more work than you. They're doing more work than your fighter. When we consider it, you can't reward doing half the job, because the job is to fill the arena. If you have a person that can't fill the arena, you can't. But there's a way that you can multiply who you have coming in there by understanding this next thing with my next partner in crime coming in. He's going to explain this word that people hear all the time, but they don't quite understand what it means. He's going to really go inside of how it can impact your business and you as a personal brand. And this is my guy, Bobby Martinez. Another
happening,
baby. What's going on,
happening?
brother?
Not
It's
too
good
much.
to have you
Not
in the
too
building.
much. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate you
Yeah.
letting me come in.
Oh, absolutely, man. And I just have to introduce that, let people know that you're a wizard behind this thing. You are the absolute Isaac Newton of physics when it comes down to the funnel world, and just many other talents. But we'll hold that one right there as your staff, because that's something that people really don't understand. And I want you to explain to me and the people that are watching who are in this boat and they want to not 10x, not 100x, but 1,000x their brand. Tell them how the funnel actually works, and just a little bit, and then we're going to bring Jake back in a short. But go ahead.
I'll make this simple because a funnel is so complicated, but I'm going to try to make it as simple as possible.
Yes.
So you got what we used to know as websites, and everybody thinks a website is how you get business, and this is in anything, but it's not, because a website is basically a glorified business card.
Mm-hmm.
A sales funnel takes somebody and doesn't give them an option other than to purchase something.
Yeah.
So regardless of what you're marketing, regardless of what you're trying to sell,
Yeah.
that's what a sales funnel is created for. So we
Yeah.
take somebody from the top of the funnel, we give them what they want by using good copy, we bring them in, and then we sell them you as a product,
Yeah.
whatever it is that you're selling.
So with an example, excuse me for cutting you off, but I wanted you to have something I wanted to give people an actual example. Like Mike Tyson has these awesome shirts. He always has, he always did, and he always will. So let's just say, for instance, the team behind him, the marketing team, say, hey, we got these shirts. Now, how does the funnel play a role when you get the first item is a shirt? Explain what happens next as other things come into play using a funnel.
Okay, suppose we had the t-shirt that was being sold at the beginning for, let's say we were giving the t-shirt away for free. So we'd say the free Mike Tyson t-shirt, just pay shipping. So that's called a free plus shipping sales funnel. So you would get that t-shirt for free. They would have to pay maybe $9.95 for shipping.
Yeah.
Once they click that button to purchase it, there's going to be an order bump. So we're not really losing money on that front end by giving away that t-shirt, because we're charging them shipping, but we're also giving them an order bump. That order bump might be 3 t-shirts of the same exact thing.
Yeah.
An order bump could be a hat. It could be several different things.
A hat.
We take them from there, though, and we take them into a one-time offer on the next page. That one-time offer is going to be a little bit. Exactly. Tyson DVD. Now that Tyson DVD may be $39.99.
Yeah.
And we're going to sell them that $39.99 item. That's not where it ends, though, because if they choose to take that, we sell them a higher priced item. If they don't take that, we sell them another.
A piece of Evander Holyfield's ear.
Exactly. That's your next level. And you keep going until maybe that last item that maybe we'll only maybe only about 1% of the people that are going to this funnel are purchasing. But that 1% could be at a high ticket price. It could be $20,000, $23,000 for that piece of Holyfield's ear.
Yeah.
But you're going to sell enough of those, and what ends up happening is it's called your average cart value. What ends up happening is your average cart value is not that free plus $9.95. Your average cart value ends up being $60, $70, $100, $250 by the time somebody goes through that sales funnel.
Wow. So
that's how you make money from the funnel.
So you're just talking about the funnel just multiplies everything 10x, because they go to the website thinking they're spending $9.95 just for shipping and handling, and it was supposed to be free. But by the time you get through that funnel and it's hitting all of those endorphins of yours, it's getting you pumped. And then when you get to the end, it's Mike Tyson's WBC belt from 1988, $10,000, and you got it.
Exactly. One more quick small example, just to give you an idea. And I won't go into how this funnel works, but I'm gonna give you a quick idea. Do you remember when the Paul brothers were fighting the first fight against
KSI.
No, I'm sorry, the first pro fight.
Oh,
his
when he
name?
fought Nate Robinson.
No, the big fight. He lives in Vegas. I can't even think of his name. Or the pro boxer that's undefeated. He's retired now, 50-0.
Floyd.
Floyd, thank you, Floyd Mayweather. I can't
when
believe my
Logan
brain
fought
went
him.
up. Yeah, when Logan
Okay.
fought. Yeah,
But I
when
thought you
Logan
were talking
fought him.
about Jake.
I am. I'm talking about what Jake did. So
Okay.
when Jake went up and he grabbed the hat and he said, "Got your hat?" Not a whole lot of people realize he took that and he made hats that said "Got your hat." He set a sales funnel up. He put a sales funnel up the following day and he sold millions from that term. Got your hat? It was a ploy. He knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
He was marketing that hat.
Yeah.
That was all he was doing. And he made millions from
And
one single sales funnel and being a marketer. That's what it's all about.
See, that's what this guy does. This is what this guy does for the company. And he just is a magical, if your company is doing, let's just say on average, you're working hard, you're going to work every day, or you're training, you're fighting, you haven't really had pay-per-view as the main event yourself. Let's just put it in a pay-per-view audience, because I know I have a lot of people in the boxing world and a lot of professional fighters watching and coaches. And your fighter is on cards that do upwards of 200,000 buys. And it's good fighters up there. But if you put that fighter in a system where everything that he's doing, he's using the blueprint to this, the cheat code to the business model to build his audience, which works. All you got to do is have a particular frame of things that he will do throughout the course. You get someone like Jake to shoot it. Once that's done, it's production going on. It's spliced and multiplied to deliver through social media. And then once that product is done, then it gets to a person like yourself who creates that page and masterfully makes a funnel that has 1,000 arms, that whatever that person wants, it's 1,000,000 of those different triggers that will spark the emotion. Now a guy who was part of cards that were only doing 200,000 buys, you multiplied and you're doing what these guys just did over the weekend. They're upwards of $50 million because of they had a basic funnel of content, and then when you get there, it's just now you got apparel, now you got all of the swag, you got opportunities to do so much more. So this is what's happening for those who are not doing it opposed to those who are doing it. So what you are doing is changing the trajectory of people's legacy, Bobby Martinez people. This is why I deal with people who are the best of the best of what they do. You just heard what he said, and you probably don't understand because the vocabulary, some people are what we call Mensas. And if you don't know what that means, pull up Mensa Society. This is one of those kind of guys, because you can't operate on something like that if you're an average mind. And he knows that. And when you start applying those kind of things to your mission, you don't 10x it like Grant Cardone says, you 1,000x it. And that's what Taylor Swift, that's what The Rock does, that's what Kevin Hart does, that's what Shannon Sharp did. People who know how to use this thing. And if you know how to do it, you will be much, much better for it, and the trajectory of your life will change exponentially. So, Bob, what advice would you give these guys who are in business and they don't really have nothing but a front end offer? What would you tell them to do, and what advice would you give them when it comes down to multiplying what you're worth in your company and your brand?
I would say simply take that first offer that you have and turn it into 50 items.
Yeah.
Break it into smaller pieces.
Yeah.
Do whatever you have to do to sell the same product.
Yeah.
For more money.
Yeah.
And more pieces.
Yeah.
If that makes sense. So you could take like one video that's created and you can break it into sections and you can sell each section
chapters.
as a chapter or as a whole module even. just sell the same thing or elaborate on each one of those things and make it a bigger product. Once you have a bigger product, you can separate that into multiple products, and then you get the funnel, because you have to have the high end and the low end when you start a funnel. So that's really the whole key to it all. And always have a funnel. Always have a funnel. If you start with the funnel, you're going to end with a lot of money.
I'm gonna tell you guys, that's the reason why these kind of, when you get a real person, and this is why one of the reasons I tell you, if you're out here and you're sitting on 20K, I mean, just be real with you, because this is this turns your website into an entire artificial intelligent company by itself. Your website is an industry. It's a Fortune 500 company. So when you invest in something like that, just say for instance, you're making $200,000, $300,000, $500,000 a year. When you do this, you go to 4 or 5 million, then 5 to 10 million, and then you go into level 2 to level 3 business, and that's even if you're an athlete. Sugar Sean O'Malley, excuse me, in the UFC, figured it out fast because he watched guys like Conor McGregor, watched guys like Floyd Mayweather, and he's a smart young man. And he's one of the ones making money. Ryan Garcia is vying to get in the ring and give him that opportunity to get the smoke, because you're talking about two people that actually know how to market for real. That would be a mega fight, a crossover fight. Sean comes over there. They make $200 million easily. And that's what is important when you got a Bobby on the team like Sean O'Malley and Tyson. Those guys are just scaling, and so that's what you have to do. You get these people because the investment is without a doubt, the investment is worth it. You don't even think about that cash. When you see what those guys do for you on that site, you're like, you see that back in an hour, and then the rest of your life is just that. That's where you see all of these these mega stars. At first they were stars, and then they become mega stars because they get people like this on the team. So that's the secret. It's not that individual. It's not Ryan Garcia. It's not Jake Paul. It's the formula, and anybody can do the formula who has those characteristics of willingness, of persistence, and a team. These guys are all killers in their industry, and they'll all be legacy when it's all said and done. When he hangs up his cleats and the guy who's coming back on hangs up his cleats, you'll know them by first name and last name without a doubt, because they're the best in the industry. Trust me what I'm saying. So Bob, any closing words for any of these individuals who are really in that place, or anything, any tips or whatever? What do you got to say? Closing words, whatever. Floor is yours.
I just want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to talk to people and let them know what really does need to be done to take it to that next level. And I believe everybody out there can take it to the next level, especially the ones that know how to market themselves like what you guys do. Everybody out there that knows what they're doing, just put it into a system and make more. That's really all I say. Put it into a system and make more.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. I tell you what, man, I appreciate you coming on, and I can't wait to keep the fire burning. And I just want to let people know that, this guy right here will be the guy behind your career multiplying, not 1x, not 10x, not 50x, 1000x. We don't think small over here. So thanks again, Bob, man. I'll wrap with you soon. Until next time, we'll chat tomorrow, brother. All right, Big Jake. What's up, brother?
Yo.
chilling.
Oh yeah.
So you should have gotten fired up by now. So
because I've been wanting to say something. So I've been holding my tongue because you've had me backstage, and because I want to just add on what Bobby and you were talking about.
Okay.
Basically, with funnels, with all this marketing, all of this stuff we're talking about, it allows you to do more than just be a boxer. In the people I coach in terms of artists, it allows you to be much more than just an artist, because you don't have to go out and, like an actor. Let's just take an actor and a boxer, right?
Yeah.
You don't have to go fight every single time to make money.
Yes.
With a funnel, with good marketing, you could take a brand deal. You could start your own brand, your own merch line, your own boxing gloves, your own hard seltzer, your own whatever, and market it because of your brand.
Yeah.
You know, look at what Logan and KSI did with Prime. And so Logan goes out and is on WrestleMania and sells more Prime. The same thing with Jake Paul and Better, right? He's one of the co-founders, co-owners, or whatever, big reps of the app Better. And it's a betting app.
The Better. Okay, yeah. Okay.
BETR. And if I'm not mistaken, it's like, you know, one of it went for it was going after like FanDuel and stuff like that, and trying to be the next big sports betting app. And he's in the number one betting sport.
Yes.
Boxing. Well, maybe it's not the number one, but you know, you talk about the sports bets when it comes to boxing.
Yeah.
So I say all this from the standpoint of, you know, funnels and marketing allow you to have a career outside of getting punched in the face.
I love that. I love that. I love that because just say, for instance, let's just use a hypothetical. Let's just say that Devin Haney wasn't 25, he was 33. And that fight, that violent fight was the one that made him say, man, can you do that again? Because really, it doesn't matter what age you are, that was violence. That was violence. And when I think about it, what else is working for him? I saw as the promotion was building, he was doing like little short reels telling people, whatever you do are you in music? You know, are you an artist? Or you, whatever it is you do, reach out to me because I'm building up my team. Basically, he's wanting to be an investor for companies, which is another way to get the bag. But when you're talking about funnels, you're multiplying things and you can try so many other things. Like,
he's leveraging his audience.
Leveraging
see right there, he's leveraging his audience. And that's what's like,
yeah.
Think with starting to build your audience from day one, right? Imagine, we all love being able to say, hey, I was listening to that artist when they had 10,000 streams.
Yeah.
I saw that person's fight in the parking garage of blah, 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 of Hooters.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
real.
People love seeing that come up story. So there's no reason why you can't be that come up story.
Yeah.
And that you are the one to, but start putting it out there. It's like, oh, I started following him when he had 1,000 followers. I was 1,001. I remember I screenshotted that shit, you know?
Let me tell them a quick story. I mean, let people understand the premise of this. For 8 years, I pounded the pavement. Eight years, I had my page, my Master Boxing page over on Facebook. I had 240,000 followers for 8 years to get there, right? And when I start talking with you and we start crafting, and you know, we met over at the Grant Cardone thing, and then we chopped it up and we just hit it off straight from the gate. And you know, you talked and you showed me things. You reminded me of, like I said, my older brother who really is very passionate about his work. And I said, this kid is super passionate. And from that, when you started speaking the language I'm speaking, this is one of the main reasons I say, people, you got to get with like-minded people, but be led by people who are much further ahead. Like, we were in the same place doing the exact same thing, being led by someone who's 100 million times what we are. And that's what you got to do in these rooms. And look how that brings people together who are all really on the game, from 240,000 for 8 years to 775,000 in 4 months, 5 months. You get it? I got 500,000 in 5 months. It took me 8 years to get 240,000. It's the difference of the impact of who is in your circle, who is influxing and influencing what you do. Who knows? This is all credit to you. You're a director, and people don't need to know all the details and the bloodline, but they do understand something happened. Like he's good, but then is great. Like then you're popping off million video joints like you want to. That's the difference in what happens to your company. It just happens. What it took 10 years or 8 years for you to do, you'll start doing in 2 days. And people aren't used to having that. But one of the things that I say is luck is only when opportunity meets preparation. And when you're prepared and opportunity lands, people think you're lucky. So many people are seeing us from the first time. They don't know how long we've been grinding and the pavement. They don't understand the resume. They don't know, but they understand this. They know it's right now. When they see it, they're like, yeah, this stuff is right. So I was just adding on to what you said, the impact of what you do and bring to the company. It makes sure that front end stuff was right, because you said something that I'm going to pull back on and jump on. You said you can pick up your camera phone, you can do this and do that, but you got to have a damn plan. You got to have a format. You got to have a formula, and persistence is one, but you got to know what you're doing. And that's what you teach people how to do. You got to know what you're shooting on that thing. If
anything, and look, I think using boxing as an analogy for social is a perfect analogy.
Yeah.
Throwing any type of punches is better than throwing no punches.
Boom.
So posting anything on social media is better than not posting anything on social media.
Mm-hmm.
Now, as Eric teaches in all his skill classes of like, make sure you rotate the shoulder, make sure you lift the elbow, trip the butt, all of these new small nuances.
Yeah.
You put them together though, then now you're able to generate more and more and more views.
Yes.
And again, one punch could go viral, or one punch can knock somebody out. But will it keep them down? Maybe, maybe not. But it's also the repetition of throwing enough punches so that you will get that knockout. It's the same thing. You post enough videos that audience member goes, God damn, okay.
Yeah.
And we'll purchase from you, we'll follow you, we'll do what you're wanting of them.
Yeah.
So it's the perfect analogy.
It's crazy. What you're saying is, even social media doesn't acknowledge you if you're great until you're persistent with your greatness, and then it'll pop. And I thought about how much content I got. I put a video out. The video did 2,300 views. I didn't take it down, left it there because I don't care. Put the same video up 2 days later. It's done 645,000 views. So that tells you persistence is king. It's the same video, but I used the same copy. It's just the timing. When the algorithm is hungry for chicken, create a chicken video. Know what the algorithm is missing at that minute in time and that time of the day or whatever. It's not, you can't predict that. But when the algorithm is hungry and you land, that's where preparation meets opportunity. That's when you get luck. That's when you go viral. So keep pumping it out, because if you're a fighter, let's name 2 fighters, Shakur Stevens, David Benavidez, and we got people who are fighting coming up, like, when Tank is fighting this July, I think it's June, July, he's fighting against Frank. Well, now I'm having a brain fart. But anyway, you got guys who have, and Terrence Crawford was here a year and a half ago. They can't fight no better, which is the number one reason fighters should understand. It's never going to be your fist. It's about how many people want to see you throw your fist because they've connected with you through a story. right?
It's entertainment. What you're selling is entertainment.
Period. It's a whole show. Like your whole life is the show.
And so that's what it's like. Look, if you realize as a boxer, you're selling entertainment. You're
Yes.
selling movie tickets. The movie
Yes.
tickets is just a live performance. It's a concert.
Yes.
And just instead of musicians, instead of a movie, it's a fight.
Look at Taylor Swift,
So,
right?
And so it's like at the end of the day, you're going to make more money if you could sell more tickets. So how can you? It's not if you're going to win fights. The way
Yes.
winning fights is going to help you get more attention. But you could be a shitty boxer and sell out fights.
Yeah.
Just really think about that. You could be a shitty boxer and sell out millions of dollars worth of fights.
Yeah, because that first fight with Logan Paul versus KSI, that was a horrible fight. And it was an amateur fight. And it sold and filled out an arena.
Exactly. And that is the exact point I'm making. Is like, look, marketing is senior to all of this. Because at the end of the day, it's entertainment. And one of the biggest lessons I've learned is like, how can you make the people above you more money? Right?
Yes.
And so as a boxer, who are you making money?
Yeah.
Right? Like who are you, like the only way to really advance in your life is to improve people's lives. Whose people's lives are you improving by being a boxer? You're improving the DirecTV and Netflix and the people who are putting on the fight.
Yeah.
So how do you help them more is by being a better fighter, which will hopefully bring in more attention.
Yes.
But if you could just go straight to the source and get more attention and build an audience, you're going to help them more. So they're going to keep coming back to you and keep giving you more fights and keep giving you more money.
Yeah, you're right. And guess what else will give you more money? Hollywood. Look at Conor McGregor. Conor McGregor's playing Popeye. Just was in Roadhouse. Like that's because they saw his versatility. And so people, you have to be versatile. And when you're telling your story,
look at The Rock.
You're starting to be in The Rock. Let's not even go there. We're talking about an entirely different monster with it.
But again, started off as a wrestler.
Yeah, but they showed the versatility. Don't you guys understand? Don't you guys agree and understand that he's shown? If you go to The Rock, you go to Dwayne Johnson's social media, he's going to tell you what he's eating. He's going to tell you what he puts on his face. He's going to tell you how many curls he's doing. He's going to tell you that he loves coming back home and playing with his daughters. He's going to do a skit with his daughter. He's going to have a tutu on and let his daughter paint, like he's giving you the versatility. So when particular roles come up in movies, Netflix is watching you. There's a lot of big bags at one time, and then there are a lot of little opportunities. And that's what you guys got to realize. That's what this is priming you for, opportunities. And then you got people like Bobby who's able to create the funnel that take what you're doing and 1,000x it because he's making sure you are worth more by having more to offer the people who love being a part of your life. I enjoyed watching Roadhouse strictly for Conor McGregor when I realized Jake Gyllenhaal was not, doing for me what I wanted to see him do. Conor McGregor took it and rescued it for me. And I just think people don't realize that social media is priming you for much greater things. So,
that's where it's not just social media.
Yeah,
it's what you and I always talk about, which is building a brand.
The brand, yes.
And that brand could be whatever you want it to be.
Yes,
but you just have to build it. Again, you could build a small straw house, or you can build a massive, beautiful marble mansion. You choose, or you could choose to not just build a house at all.
Yeah.
And that's not building out social media. A small straw house is a shitty social media.
Yeah.
Building that mansion is going to take time.
Yeah.
But then like The Rock, like Kevin Hart, like these, individuals that we admire.
Yeah.
It's impenetrable. It's an impenetrable fortress. You cannot bring it down.
It's powerful, man. And I love the fact that there is a formula out there. There's a framework. There's a there's the actual step by step, and there's an easy way to do it. So whenever you are in that place and you are like, I know I can do this, but I just don't have any help. I did a poll in my Instagram stories this week. I think it may have been Monday or it's Sunday. And we had 27,000 people go through the poll. I think it was almost 90% chose I need coaching with my social media. So people want to do it. We're talking about in one account. This isn't, and I screenshotted and got the recording. So people want to know, Jake, just so you know. So I got to do another one. So if you guys are watching, make sure you take the poll tomorrow because we're going to re-poll.
And if you really want to do this,
yeah,
message Eric right now. Just message him wherever you're seeing this, whether it's a replay, you're seeing it live. Message him, and he'll link us up. Eric and I work together on this stuff, and we'll get you straight. You know,
Yeah.
and we can build packages for whatever level you're at. If you're like, yo, I want the Conor McGregor package, I want the Rock package, we can help you with that. And if you're ready for that, great. If you're like, yo, I got nothing, I just need something, we can help you with that, right? So just reach out. We're not scary, as you see here. Eric, we should do another one in like a week or two, and also throw up a Q&A, like have people submit questions, and so we can answer some of those. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
Oh, excuse me, I forgot that last night I did a Q&A, and it ended up going crazy. I couldn't even get to all the questions, and I gotta apologize because I had one of the best boxes in the era drop one on YouTube. I couldn't see the thing. The screen was too far and I didn't have my phone. So my special shouts out to Super Zab Judah, who popped on and dropped some stuff. I didn't even see him. So apologies, because I can't excoriate my boxing legends. And so Zab popped on to my Q&A last night, and I feel real bad. Last time it was Derek James. This time Zab Judah. I'm like, man, I'm like, I got to get somebody to read. So if somebody's good at reading on the screen, holler at me. Let me know, because I'm hiring. I need somebody to read my screen for me, read my questions, because I can't do that. I can't be missing. And I'm definitely, Jake was right. The Q&A is a big thing. And we did one last night to let people know about registrations for USA Boxing. So I made sure that was up there. It's still up there. It's probably up there now. It's about to leave if it is, but learning the rules and different things that you'll need to know, how to put on a coach's clinic at your gym or whatever. But the bottom line is you can train fighters all you want. Today, it's about numbers. And promoters got access to more fighters who understand that now. And that's who they're picking from. So if you're training your athletes, make sure that you understand that they need grooming for being a person with a camera in front of them and telling the story, because you're selling the story. This is the Contender Series, which Otis won. So he understands the importance of the story behind the fighter. And it just builds a story. It builds the fighter's life. When the fighter loses, he doesn't depend on just fighting, because he's built a personal brand. He's making money all over the place, just like Devin Haney is doing right now. He's learning, he's making money. So the bottom line is it's powerful. But with that being said, you got any closing words, Jake? Because we will do this next one next week, because we're going to do a serious invested Q&A for the individuals, because there'll be a lot of different quality people. And I'm having a couple of real superstars on the show too. So I'll give you guys the insight on who's coming. I got to pick and choose what date I'm going to put who on, but you guys have to keep it locked. Me and Otis are going to close it out about the fight, because I want to really give people a perspective. And Jake, any closing words before you slide down, brother?
Just start. Just start.
Yeah.
It takes just you.
Hold up. Tell them one tip about starting. What could they take away? Like what would be a first day one of changing? Like you might be already posting, but what's the one
most
that you're
obvious
reinventing?
stuff? It's the most obvious stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, for example, right? Your brand, this is what I tell people about your brand, right? Your
Yeah.
brand is not who you are right now. It's who you want people to know you as in the future. And
Boom.
you're essentially building a brand is literally just manifesting, right?
Yeah.
So this is going to be like your 2-minute masterclass in branding and social media right now. So go 10 years in the future, say, who do I want to be? Who is that person 10 years, 20 years, 30 years in the future? Go, okay, great. What does that person do? Good. Write those down. Then from that list, start doing those things right now and make videos about all of them. But speak on them as you are now, not as an expert, not as somebody who's done it for 20 years.
Yeah.
So, for example, you're like, I want to be a really big weightlifter, right? Don't be like, this is how you lift weights. Just so, hey, this is my workout. This is my goal I'm trying to go to. Speak on what you're doing now. This is what I'm eating right now. Not this is what you need to do, but speak on what you're doing.
First person.
You know, if you're a boxer, show you boxing. If you're an actor, show you acting. The biggest thing is show people what you're doing. And then you're like, well, I don't have enough boxing content. It's like, well, when's the last time you went boxing? Because people aren't doing enough.
Yeah.
So you have to go do it first, do your best to record it somehow. It feels funny. The same way you first threw a punch and it felt really stupid. The same way you try to coach somebody the first time and it felt really stupid. It's going to feel really stupid.
Yeah, I got bad videos out there. Videos out there. I got bad videos out there. Don't get it twisted.
If you ever want to feel better about your life,
yeah,
and about social media, go search Post Malone first music video. It's horrendous. And now this is one of the top 5 streamed artists of all time.
Yeah.
Okay? Go search Post Malone's first music video and go, okay, if he can go from that to being billions in streams, one of the biggest, literally, it's like him, The Weeknd, Taylor Swift, and Drake are like the top 5 streamed artists of all time on Spotify.
Insane.
And if he can go from that music video to there, it all just comes down to reps. Like every other athlete, it just comes down to reps. So you got to get the fucking reps in.
Yeah, definitely.
Go shoot. Put out 10 videos a day, every single day. The same way if your coach is, your coach is going to tell you got to punch the bag. How many times you got to punch the bag? You got to punch the bag 1,000 times a day.
Yeah.
I'm being your coach right now. Post 10 videos a day. I don't give a shit what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You got to get your reps in.
Yeah. That's it. He's telling you, you're going to be hard. It's tiring when you were really serious about it, but you get the feed off
like
of
everything.
that. You get the feed off of the content when you see how people start to receive you. And I'm talking to people who are out there already doing it, and they don't understand. I watch some of them. I'm gonna give you an example, and then I'm gonna cut down. But
I
watch.
want to say one thing.
Oh, go ahead.
This is much easier than getting punched in the face. Realize
almost.
This your audience or people who are getting literally punched in the face.
Yeah.
For the beginning of their lives for no money. You're not getting this is much easier than getting punched in the face because you can turn off the comments so you don't even feel it.
Yeah.
So literally just get your reps in.
Yeah.
And then we can go from there.
Yeah. Well, like I said, this is the kind of insight I wanted people to understand. And there are big people out there who are big right now, but you can't get bigger. Like I said, the Shakur Stevens of the world, they want to understand how to get that power, that leverage. This is how you do it. Now you're at the point in time when you hit that pivotal point in your road. You got to make the big step. Now, the big step is to get a powerhouse behind you that knows this other side, because now it's all about multiplying your numbers, not 10x, not 100x, but 1,000 times, because that's what attracts the promoters. That's what gives you leverage over these promoters, because they don't care about anything but the numbers. The sanctioning bodies, they do the numbers. They're ranking people like Jake Paul and any of these guys who have this following because Jake Paul's on the cover of the USA Boxing Olympics for Paris. He's the representative face.
Wow.
So, and that's because he's a big name. He's a big brand. He brings numbers. So that's kind of it. So all you got to do is get the powerhouse like these guys that got behind them. But it's just a formula. Don't take anything else. Jake, thanks again, man. I'll wrap with you. Let's cut it up and be ready for next week because it's going down, brother.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it.
All right, brother. That's my man, guys. Jake in the building. And my boy, Otis. The last thing I wanted to discuss with you was, really about this fight and how it's going to impact. How do you feel like right now this fight is going to impact this next generation when they're watching Ryan go through these? He's basically going through the formula, but people don't understand what they're seeing. How do you think it'll impact the fighters who know that this is what they need to do, but they don't want to do that? And some of them will be encouraged, but how do you think it's going to impact the sport? Do you feel like that the promoters are going to really start targeting all of these guys who got these numbers behind them? What do you think?
I think that it's already come to that point. Guys like Jake Paul and Ryan. I remember when Ryan was just becoming a signee of Golden Boy, and he was always talking about, he was threatening, Eric Gomez and those guys going, hey, I got this many views and and Eric was like, I don't care, because they was still that transition from the old school to the new school. Yeah. So he was like, we don't care about that, And now it's like, no, we do care about that.
That's all we care about.
Can you help other people? Can you help other people get to those numbers? So that's already changed. And then so you're going to see a lot of more people start from scratch with less amateur boxing skill, with more media and mouth, but they're going to start, getting in that vehicle and going a little bit farther. You're going to see them fighting Olympians and things of that nature,
Yeah.
It's all about the word of mouth. Word of mouth has been around since the beginning of time, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And what do you think right now, after seeing that fight, what do you think would be a better move for Devin Haney? Do you think it's a good idea for him to fight Ryan Garcia again next? What do you think?
Well, as I read earlier today, he said that he's going to take a break. I think that he got a lot of fame very fast. People, they discount what he's done. He basically came from fighting in Mexico to being an undisputed champion. So there's a lot of fame and fortune that comes with that, and there's a lot of stress level that comes with that. Famous is actually a disease. Famous is a disease because it drains you. It affects your physical being. So famous is a disease. So he needs a break. There's been a lot of big fights. Boom, 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 boom.
Back to back.
Gambosa's, Lomachenko, a lot of chit chatter and talk in the middle of it, but with him and his dad, calling people and The
Linares fight. All of these fights. It was killers.
So yeah, he needs a little bit of a break, and then I think he'll resurface back at 140 and also the WBC did not strip him.
Yeah, no, I heard that. Yeah, and I also heard that Ryan Garcia just posted yesterday that Floyd told him to go in over 3 pounds, and he's on a cell phone FaceTime with him doing like this. So the strategy is what I tell people. Y'all don't understand. There's so many other wrinkles in boxing that y'all don't know about. You're so worried about, just your defense or your footwork or how hard you can hit. But it's so much about boxing you don't know, and you'll never learn it all.
Let's talk about that too.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that, because over at Golden Boy Promotions, you got a bunch of ex-world champions. Some of them pound for pound guys, things of that nature. They used to, when I was there, they put together game plans like for like people would tap in. They call you, Hopkins call, hey man, so and so fought this guy. This is what I'm going to tell you. You need to do this. This should be your strategy. Da 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 da. This was all like, people would think like, oh, like this was a coincidence or whatever. No, Ryan, he this was, and what's crazy is like people really don't, because people like we say before, it's, you can get the belt fast. Keeping the belt is
it's the whole
thing that
thing.
eludes me.
Yeah.
So
It's,
all of this stuff happened very fast. People fail to realize Bill Haney does not come from a boxing background. Devin Haney
correct.
comes from a very scarce amateur background and things of that nature. This stuff moved very fast. You go back to like 2018, 2017, you don't even know who these guys are, you know? And now they're at the front level, and they're matching minds with people like De La Hoya, Bernard Hopkins, Eric Gomez, you know, all the other guys over at Golden Boy that's been doing this since they started, you know, with me back in 2004. And before that, they were doing it in their own careers. So like, you know, it's Jedi mind tricks going on behind the scenes. And that was one of them right there. So what I would tell people is this, like you asked me earlier when I was breaking up what I have done. And it's not going to sound right to people, but if I was his manager and Ryan comes in 3 pounds overweight, I'm already thinking Ryan is 5'10". By the time the fight starts, he's going to weigh 165 pounds, you know, 162 pounds. Okay, pay us our money for missing the weight. And then I want a clause put in saying that you can't weigh more than blah, blah, blah on the night of the fight. Same thing Manny Pacquiao did to De La Hoya, you know? You know, if you study boxing history, people out there, the information is all around you, like it is for a lot of stuff, like even this social media stuff with Jay, right? But you just got to gather it. You got to like really, like, instead of putting a bunch of smoke and noise out there, you got to like really hone in and project where you want to be and start soaking up some of this game. A lot of people don't realize why Floyd told Ryan that stuff. You have to realize this, that Repo Rick, my boy, Repo Rick, a lot of people don't like him, but Repo Rick, you can say what you want to say about him. A lot of world champions came through Rico Rick. He brought a lot of guys to the game, Paul Williams, and the list goes on. He brought Devin Haney to the game, right? But then they gave him the Leonidas kick once he got him to the Mayweathers. Then Floyd Mayweather Sr. was going to be Devin's trainer. They soaked up the game there in the camp. They gave him the Leonidas kick. So you think Floyd ain't feeling salty about how they did his dad?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's why he told him what to do, because he did it against Marquez. Hey, I'll pay you a couple of stacks, but I'm gonna blow you out the water because I ain't draining myself. And Floyd understand the game. And I tell people there are wrinkles to this thing. It's not what you see on YouTube. It's not what you see on Instagram. It's not what your buddies are telling you, because the only people that know this stuff are people who've been around lineages. It's not available outside of that. It's only inside of those houses. Tell them what Joe Frazier told you when you was talking about running, and he told you to put on those. Go tell him that story.
Yeah. So it's one of the funniest stories ever. Lord rest his soul, great man, and a hell of a good man. That guy's so funny and so energetic. But we're in the gym, and I came in, and I was drenched, sweating and everything, and he's like, man, you look like a empty bottle of ketchup, because I had red on, right? And I was like, yeah, I just came from running. He goes, how far you run? I go, oh, I run 7 miles a day. He goes, what? I go, yeah. And when I'm at home 2 times a week, I run 14 miles a day, because I heard that Ali used to do that, and I run 2 miles backwards. He goes, man, that fool didn't do that, man. Don't be listening to everything you read. He goes, look, this is what you need to do. You need to go out. He goes, all you need is 3 miles. You put some combat boots on, and you run 3 miles hard. I'm talking about you got to get it like under 25 minutes, and try to get close to it, right on.
Man.
Boom. He's like running hard. He goes that those boots gonna train your legs, and you're gonna have that burst that you're gonna need for those scrimmage lines in the fight. So very next day I go out and I do it. Boom. So I didn't see him until like 2 days after that, right? And I come in the gym, and I'm jumping rope, but I'm kind of like hopping around. He goes, OG, what? He goes, what's wrong with you, youngster? He said, I see you got a little hitch in your giddy up. I said, oh, sir, I got blisters on my feet from running in the combat boots. And then, I don't want to offend anybody, but he said one of the funniest things that I can hear it in my mind right now. He looked at me, he goes, damn, I guess they don't build niggas like they used to. But he's exactly right,
Yeah,
what
you
I
used to
didn't know,
Nikes
I should
now.
have put on about 3 pair of socks. Don't go out and buy some, because the production team went and they bought me some brand new combat boots, and that's where the blisters came from. But that is a very good strategy.
Too funny. Yeah, he's talking about amp it up. Amp it up. If you're gonna do it, you got to do it where you ain't got to do it like everybody doing it. You got to do things different if you want different results than everybody is getting. And I tell all of you, there are so many different positions in the gym. And yesterday, my baby made me cautious of a guy saying, hey, I never seen you in a corner like you are going to have seen me. See, what I am is there's 12 different coaches, trainers inside of a gym. All of them have different roles. The guy that you see is called the corner man. You'll see him for 30, 40 years a lot of the times. You look at guys like Derek James, and you look at guys like Virgil Hunter, Robert Garcia. Those guys are cornermen. But there are guys who are technical. There are guys that are tacticians. There are guys that are strategy. There are guys that are whisperers. There's a boatload of people that you don't understand are the wizards behind these fighters who are special. And that's one of the reasons you saw people like Bondini, who was not the coach, and they're just different layers. And I love that someone said that, because it gives me an opportunity to shed light on what 90% of the training camps don't have. And anytime that I see a camp, I know that they don't have what's necessary. And it's unfortunate because you're going to pay the price. You're going to pay the price, and you need what Otis was saying just a second ago. There's lineages, and there's depth, and there's answers there. And there's a lot of success, because I'm from 3 of the 4 people on Mount Olympus. I'm from 3 of the 4 lineages connected all the way through the pipeline. So the knowledge that I understand, the wrinkles that I've acquired over 4 decades, I understand how important it is. And I know 99.99% of you don't know what I have up here. I got more stuff in my books that I've written that you'll ever learn. I'll forget more boxing than you'll ever learn. And I want you all to know this knowledge, because I can leave it here. I can't take it with me, though. So that's why I do what I do, because I know it's so much you don't know. And I know what Otis is telling you. He got that from Smoking Joe Frazier. How many of y'all talk to Smoking Joe Frazier? We don't have people up here who are not experienced in boxing. When you see somebody up here, we talking about people who are experienced in boxing. I'm going to have Andre Durrell back up here again, because Olympics are coming up. And that man know the Olympics, and his stories about the Olympics, boy, will make your skin stand up, the hair on your arms, some of these stories, and you'll tear up in some of these things. And then you'll be so motivated. That's who I bring on this place in this show, because the reality is you do not know boxing. And that's why Roger Mayweather used to say, you don't know shit about boxing, boy, especially if you just watching YouTube and HBO. You don't know shit about boxing, and you don't. You know what I'm saying? That's why y'all follow. Yeah, y'all following the page. I got guys who are trainers that's following the page. That I go to their page and they don't even have quality content up and out, and that's part of it. And showing what you got, showing what you know, and showing who you are, so people know what you bring to the game. And what these athletes need to understand is you got to know who you choose, because who you choose, you need to be loyal to. Because if you're a cheater, you're a cheater. And 70% of the fighters that have followed the page, I tell those trainers, your fighters are following the page, and you don't think they're tapping me on the shoulder? Because guys like girls with big butts, and they cheat. They go out and they cheat. So when they see a trainer who know, they're going to cheat. So you don't think for one second that your fighter don't cheat trying to whisper in the ear of other trainers when you're not really paying attention, you're crazy. That's just like your woman not being attracted to another man. It's bananas. You got to wake up, and I want you guys to have success, but you got to lead. I put a video out here on one day I walked into the gym and incompetent. I didn't have my shit. I came in there writing down programs, and I came in there, my paper, and I'm like, damn, I'm coming there right at the time they supposed to start training. I'm still writing out what they supposed to do. And I look up, and they look up at me, and I'm like, damn, they looking at me. I look like a damn amateur. Here I am with 25 years behind my belt in boxing, and I'm doing like a beginner. And I said, that's why I built these. Never again. Now I got 30 books. I don't want to be seen as a guy who's not prepared. I'm prepared. That's what this is about. And y'all got to realize that preparation is king. If you don't even have a good social media, your fighter knows it because he's watching guys who do. That means it's the old adage, how you do anything is how you do everything. And I know I'm thorough. And you got to be thorough. So step your game up. Ask questions. Don't just let it be fighters answering polls. Don't let it be this 10% of trainers answering polls. The other 90% are arrogant and ego driven. You ain't shit. Then when you can say that to yourself, you ain't shit. You be reborn and you become a man of God. You be a man of faith. You be a man of persistence. You be a man, and people can tell you got more by how you move, not how you give all the credit to yourself. You did this for the fighter. I went to a gym and the guy blamed the fighter for everything. And I said, boy, you're not a good person for this with that spirit. And that fighter knows it. And the video was streamed. I streamed it. But, I try to encourage a coach how to coach by example. I talk to his fighter in a way to show him by example how to talk to the fighter and say exactly what you're trying to say, but actually get through to him. And that's how, when I did work corners, I made sure that the words that went into your ears landed into the place in your spirit that it needed to, because that's what you're going to need. Because like Michelle just said, it's spiritual warfare. Thank you, Michelle. It's spiritual warfare. Yeah. It's not skills. Skills don't pay the bills at that level. Canelo thought skills paid the bills, and then he fought Floyd. You need your PhD. You need to fight the guy who's going to make you realize that skills don't pay the bills. Devin Haney just got into the ring with a guy who's mentored by Floyd. Now, and Floyd was in that camp in every victorious moment. That was Floyd in that boy ear, telling him what to do to a guy like that. And don't it look like he knew exactly what to do with a guy like that? They split in the amateurs 3-3. Floyd wasn't around. Watch the stuff that Ryan Garcia doing in that fight. Everything was Floyd. All of that. Now, Ryan got his own power, and he's fighting at the weight class he is. Floyd was a real 135 guy. Like he could have stayed down there. He never gained weight. But Ryan was smart. And listen, he told y'all the whole time, Floyd telling me this, Floyd telling me that. Like, people didn't realize, like, dude, who you getting your secrets from? A man who's one generation? Mr. Haney has built the world champion. But they don't realize levels don't start until you become the world champion. Amen. That's when the fun starts. And that's what he doesn't have the experience in. And that's where guys like Floyd and Pacquiao, Freddie Roach, these guys like that, they do know that, oh, your day coming. Because you don't think it's coming. And that's when the fun starts in pro boxing and stuff. So hopefully you guys got a lot from this. Otis, you got any closing words before we get out of here, bro?
I wanted to say this. I was thinking about this also. Yeah. This is coming from experience, and this is something that I learned going down to Australia. Everybody calling me Tommy Brooks, Lou Duva. Hey, what the hell are you doing? everyone at Golden Boy, you sure you want to take this fight?
Yeah.
Man, I don't care. I'm better than him. Da da da. Yeah, you're better, but the travel, da da da. Never experienced it, right? Never ever. If you're on top, never ever even the playing field for anybody. Don't do it. My uncle used to say, if you the man where you at, don't go somewhere else trying to be the man. Stay where you at.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's my advice to you.
Yeah. That's one of the things that what Haney did against Kambosos. You got to at some point believe you do have more leverage than you think. You don't do the rematch there. But you know, that shows you the experience and lack thereof understanding how much leverage you already really had, because there's no way that dude wouldn't have fought you over here. You just say, no, I'm gonna fight somebody else. You can punish me how you may, but you got to be willing to stand on your own. And if you build your own personal brand before that moment, then you'd have leverage. When you got 2 or 3 million people following you, then you ain't got to worry about saying I got to go there again. You know you got leverage. So with that being said, man, we want to thank you guys for taking the time to hang out with us. Otis, I appreciate you guys for coming on and chopping it up with us. And it's always a pleasure, brother. And you know, I just love the fact that people getting to know exactly who you are, your journey, and that you're sharing the mic with me. With this is an honor because I watched you from the beginning. You've always held yourself accountable for being responsible, walking the way you should walk as a champion, talking the way you should talk as a champion, training like you should, looking like you should, and representing the game by giving it back to those guys, by managing fighters now. So special shouts out to you, brother.
Thank you.
Absolutely, man. Yes, no doubt. Well, next week, we're going to get it back. We're going to get it popping again because we're going to bring some really, really in-depth conversations to you guys. And I know that there are guys out there ready to get yourself to the next level. Just remember, ask questions. Don't be afraid to reach out and say, hey, this is what I'm dealing with, because the sport of boxing, you need a circle of people to ask questions, and that's the most important thing. So if you do, make sure that you just let yourself have the courage to do it, because on the other side of that fear is answers. And when preparation meets opportunity, that's when you start running into a lot of luck. That's all we got. Be blessed at Godspeed. Special shouts out to all my brothers in the School of Boxing, Top Training U program, Champions University. Remember, always keep your head up, your chin down, and never forget to duck. Until next week, we'll see you soon in the winner's circle.